Alright, so let's look at this. So, we're coming out of the book of Luke. Alright? Check this out. So, this is in Luke, right? And this is Luke chapter 11, verse 14. Basically, we're looking at verse 14 to 20. Alright? I'm reading out of the Passion, though. So, one day a crowd gathered around Jesus, and among them was a man who was mute. Jesus drove out of the man the spirit that made him unable to speak. When the demon left him, the mute man's tongue was loosed, and immediately he was able to speak. The stunned crowd saw it and marveled in amazement. They saw it and they tripped in amazement over this miracle, right? Here's where it gets interesting. Remember, he's speaking with the authority of God, not like the religious scribes, right? Not like the scholars of the law. So check this out. Verse 15. But there were some in the crowd who protested, saying, but he's speaking with the authority of God. He's literally casting out devils with the authority of God in his teachings, Jesus' teachings. And everyone was astonished, right? But then there were some in the crowd who protested, saying, he casts out demons by the power of Satan, the demon king. Others were skeptical and tried to persuade Jesus to perform a spectacular display of power to prove that he was the Messiah. Jesus, well aware of their every thought, said to them, every kingdom that is split against itself is doomed to fail and will eventually collapse, right? That's what Jesus says back to them. If it is true that Satan casts out his own demons through me, how could his kingdom remain intact? If Satan gives me the power to cast out his demons, who is it that gives your exorcists their power? Let that become your judges. Go ask them, and they will tell you. But if I am casting out demons by God's mighty power, God's kingdom is now released upon you. Because remember, he's speaking with authority, and everybody's astonished at the authority that he has. But you still reject it. So when you look at verse, let's look at verse 16, right? 15, right? And 16. 15. Oh, he casts out devils by the power of Satan, the king of demons, right? So that's a lie. And then when you look at 16, others were skeptical and tried to persuade Jesus to perform a spectacular display of power to prove that he was the Messiah. Who started that? So why did, there you go. The devil tempted him. Why did they freak out about him knowing that he taught with authority, astonished with his authority, right? Notice that again. So he's always teaching with this authority, not like religious scholars, but with authority, with power, right? So let's look at it again. Oh, he's casting out, he casts out demons by the power of Satan. Lie. And others were skeptical and tried to persuade Jesus to perform a spectacular display of power to prove that he was the Messiah. Who else tempted him? That's right, the tempter, right? That's the devil. So when you look at verse 15 and 16, that's the devil working through the crowd. The crowd is going nuts about him, but not in a proper way. So if it's not of God, these people are mouthpieces of the devil right now. Okay? So look at that again. Look at verse 15. They're trying to persuade him to prove that he's the Messiah. Who started that? The devil. According to Luke, according to Matthew, the devil started that. So it's interesting because he addresses the devil just like how he rebukes Peter, but he addresses the devil in this, just like he did at the temptation in the wilderness, right? So he speaks to them. Jesus, well aware of their every thought, said to them, they, them, same thing. Every kingdom that is split against itself is doomed to fail and will eventually collapse. And he catches even the lie and he throws it back in their face. If it is true that Satan casts out his own demons through me, how could his kingdom remain intact? If Satan gives me the power to cast out his demons, who is it that gives your exorcists their power? Let them become your judges. Go and ask them and they will tell you. But if I am casting out demons by God's mighty power, God's kingdom is now released upon you. But you still reject it. That was literally the devil manifesting through the crowd and still tempting Jesus to prove himself the Son of God. Proving, oh, I am the Son of Man, so that us can operate as children of God. Or you're the Son of God? No, I'm the Son of Man, so that the sons of man can actually be sons of God. Alright? So Jesus always referred to himself, call me the Son of Man, call me the Son of Man. He's the Son of God. Peter's revelation, you're the Son of God. Oh, cool. Yeah, don't tell nobody. So do you see what's going on? In this chapter, in this little part, the devil manifested towards Jesus again, and the Lord Jesus rebukes the devil through the crowd, shutting them up because they try to do this thing of influencing the crowd. Because remember, all were astonished by the authority he had because he didn't speak as their scribes, right? So when you put it in that context, that everybody's astonished at his teachings because he teaches with power, not like the scribes, of the law. So the devil manifests through the crowd and he shuts them up. So they can't gain any influence on the rest of the crowd that is captivated by him. Astonished by his teaching, because he teaches as one with authority, not as religious, scribes of the day. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I think it's really cool.